Emmerdale has finally explained how Serena Sugden is connected to John Sugden, as Aaron Dingle warns Robert that she could threaten Victoria's freedom. Serena, portrayed by Casey Al-Shaksi, made her unexpected debut in the village last month. Her arrival shocked both viewers and residents when she revealed she belonged to the famous Sugden family. Fans first met Serena after she came across Charity in distress by a lakeside following her assault by Dr. Todd. Since arriving, she has been asking numerous questions about John Sugden, leaving many people who knew him feeling uneasy. Further suspicion grew when Vanessa Woodfield caught Serena reading a news article about Nate Robinson's death. Viewers know Nate was murdered by John before his body was dumped in the lake. Although Vanessa chose not to confront Serena, she later shared her concerns with Moira Dingle, who agreed that Serena's behavior seemed suspicious. Moira contacted Robert to tell him what Vanessa had witnessed. As Robert left her house, he bumped into his former husband, Kev Barton, who had made himself comfortable there. While Robert was clearly frustrated that someone else was questioning Serena's motives, Kev suddenly realized where he recognized her from and revealed that she had previously worked as a police officer. The revelation could spell trouble for Robert, Aaron, and Moira, who all played a part in hiding the true circumstances surrounding John Sugden's death. Viewers know Victoria Sugden killed him in self-defense after he tried to persuade her to leave the village and start a new life with him. Authorities later ruled John's death a suicide, allowing Victoria to leave for Portugal with her son Harry to recover from the traumatic events. In Wednesday's July 15th episode of Emmerdale, Serena questioned Bob Hope about the sale of Butler's farm. Bob explained that the property was transferred to the Tates without ever being placed on the open market. Growing concerned that Serena might uncover the truth about Victoria, Robert denied knowing anything. He then turned the conversation around and asked Serena to explain her connection to John. Serena revealed that her mother had been struggling financially, prompting John to cash in his military pension early to support them. She added that she still had some of the money left and wanted to use it to help those affected by John's actions. When it was suggested that she donate the money to Tracy, Nate's former wife, Vanessa questioned whether Tracy would be willing to accept such an offer. Aaron remained deeply suspicious after Serena figured out that Victoria had been responsible for John's death. Furious that Robert had potentially put both their freedom and Victoria's future at risk, Aaron stormed away, while the episode ended with Serena making her way towards Hotten Police Station. Next week in Emmerdale, Charity Dingle faces another devastating setback after learning that the Crown Prosecution Service has decided not to take her case against Dr. Todd any further because there isn't enough evidence. Although the decision leaves Charity heartbroken and convinced justice has slipped away, Mackenzie Boyd and Vanessa Woodfield refuse to give up. Determined to uncover the truth, they begin investigating Dr. Todd's past at the hospital, hoping to find evidence that could expose her actions once and for all. As Mackenzie and Vanessa dig deeper, Charity unexpectedly meets another woman whose life has also been shattered by Dr. Todd. The emotional encounter reveals that Charity is not alone in her ordeal, and the discovery could become the breakthrough needed to reopen the case. With more victims beginning to emerge, there may finally be hope that Dr. Todd's crimes will be brought to light. Meanwhile, Serena Sugden continues to puzzle everyone in the village. Although she has explained part of her connection to John Sugden, her true intentions remain unclear. She appears particularly interested in Ross Barton and spends an increasing amount of time trying to learn about Home Farm and everything that happens there. As Serena asks more questions and quietly gathers information, those around her begin to wonder whether she is hiding a much bigger agenda. Kane Dingle also faces an emotional week as he struggles to cope with Monty's worsening condition. The dog's illness forces Kane to confront painful thoughts about his own health, leaving him distant from both Moira and Kyle. His inability to move forward creates growing tension within the family, with Kyle finding it increasingly difficult to understand why his father has become so withdrawn. Elsewhere, Kev Townsend receives an unwelcome reminder of his past when an old acquaintance unexpectedly arrives in the village. Kim Tate is left furious after Home Farm is targeted by burglars, while Dawn Taylor finds it difficult to watch Billy Fletcher move on with Gabby Thomas. At the same time, Gabby continues to hide her ongoing struggles with food as she tries to avoid raising Billy's concerns. After hearing that the CPS will not proceed with Charity's complaint, Vanessa and Mackenzie begin searching hospital records to find out whether previous complaints were ever made against Dr. Todd. Their investigation leads them to an HR representative who may hold valuable information about Todd's history. Charity is stunned when she discovers what Vanessa has been doing behind her back and confronts her, worried that reopening old wounds could make everything even harder. However, the situation changes dramatically when Charity meets Helen, another woman who claims to have suffered because of Dr. Todd. During their emotional conversation, Charity bravely reveals that she was sexually assaulted by Todd, leaving Helen deeply shaken and encouraging her to share her own painful experience. Moira throws Ross out, and his suspicions soon turn towards Robert Sugden. When Ross confronts Robert, Aaron steps in to defend him, resulting in a heated confrontation that almost turns violent. Despite the chaos, Serena later opens up further about her reasons for being in the village, convincing Robert to allow her to remain nearby. Kim then realizes the burglars were after something very specific. A USB stick has disappeared, suggesting the break-in was far from random. Residents. Her curiosity leaves viewers wondering exactly what information she is searching for and who she may really be working for. Claudette Anderson encourages Kev to keep working at the cafe, despite his recent doubts about staying. Nicola King initially celebrates what she believes is Kev's departure, only to be disappointed when he announces he has changed his mind and plans to continue working there. Elsewhere, Kev remembers that Lewis Barton's birthday is approaching and decides to make up for years of absence by buying him expensive gifts. Although Kev's intentions are genuine, Lewis quickly becomes overwhelmed by the sudden attention, while Ross notices the growing strain their awkward relationship is placing on his brother. Kane remains determined to find another treatment that could save Monty, refusing to accept the grim diagnosis. His obsession with helping the dog only drives a bigger wedge between himself, Moira, and Kyle, who feels increasingly ignored. Matters become even worse when the vet confirms that Monty's tumors cannot be operated on, leaving Kane devastated and struggling to hide his emotions. Tensions continue to rise when Kyle invites Graham Foster to join a planned camping trip. Kane is furious about the unexpected addition, and the disagreement between the adults soon spirals into a heated argument. Kyle eventually loses patience with his father and tells him exactly how disappointed he has become. As Kane storms away from the campsite in anger, disaster strikes. He slips down a steep hillside, trapping his leg as darkness begins to fall. Injured and stranded with night closing in, Kane faces a frightening ordeal while his loved ones remain unaware of what has happened. Back in the village, Kev's determination to rebuild his relationship with Lewis only creates more pressure. His constant attempts to make up for lost time leave Lewis feeling suffocated, and Ross becomes increasingly concerned that Kev's enthusiasm may end up pushing Lewis away rather than bringing them closer together. Emmerdale is broadcast on ITV1 every weekday at 8 p.m. New episodes are also available to stream from 7 a.m. on ITVX and on YouTube.